The impossible has happened. Borden is back. After years of heartbreak, tears, and unanswered questions, Heartland fans are finally seeing the moment they never thought would come. But how does his return shake Amy, Lindy, Jack, and Lou to their very core? For years, the Heartland story has carried the heavy shadow of Ty's absence. His sudden departure left not just Amy shattered, but the entire family struggling to piece their lives together. Ty wasn't just a husband and father. He was the soul of Amy's journey, the man who stood beside her through every storm, and the partner who helped build the life they dreamed of together. When he was gone, the ranch felt emptier. Every quiet moment echoed with the question, what would life have been if Ty was still there? Amy took the hardest hit. Viewers watched her turn grief into strength, slowly finding ways to raise Lindy while holding onto the ranch. But her smile always carried pain. Every time she looked at Lindy, she saw Ty in her daughter's eyes, a bittersweet reminder of the love she lost. For Amy, every sunrise meant another day of pushing forward without the person who once made her feel complete. And even though she tried to move on, her heart never truly let go. For Lindy, life without her father was different. She grew up on stories, Jack's old tales, Lou's warm memories, and Amy's quiet reflections. She learned about Ty's kindness, his strength, and his love, but for her, he was more a dream than a reality. She could imagine his face from pictures, but she never felt the warmth of his embrace, never heard his voice calling her name. Lindy grew strong, curious, and spirited, much like her father, but deep inside, she always felt the missing piece of her family puzzle. And then there was Jack. For him, Ty was not just family but the son he never had. The bond between them was built on respect and love. When Ty was gone, Jack had to hide his own heartbreak to hold the family together. He became the steady hand for Amy and Lindy, guiding them through the storm, even while his own heart broke. Every time Jack looked at Lindy, he was reminded of Ty, and every time Amy struggled, he carried the burden of keeping everyone afloat. Lou's story was different. She always carried both hope and worry. Lou understood Amy's pain but also feared what the future would hold. With Ty gone, she tried to protect her sister from being crushed by grief while keeping the ranch and family moving forward. But even Lou, with all her practical strength, couldn't fill the empty space that Ty left behind. Season after season, the show reminded us of this loss. Fans felt it deeply. Many thought Ty's chapter was closed forever, and the best we could do was hold on to his memory. But season 19 changes everything. The premiere doesn't just bring back a character, it reopens every wound, every memory, every hope that the Bartlett-Fleming family tried so hard to bury. Ty's return is not just a shock, it's a storm that sweeps through Heartland. The ranch that once learned to survive without him must now face the impossible, welcoming him back. His presence is both healing and painful, because the family has grown in his absence. Amy has learned to stand on her own, Lindy has learned to live without knowing him, Jack has been the anchor, and Lou has been the planner. Now everything shifts. The premiere sets the stage for one of the most emotional and complicated chapters Heartland has ever told. The story of Ty's return is not only about love and joy, it's about the difficult questions that follow. Why? Is he back now? Where has he been? And can the family truly embrace him after learning to live without him? It begins with silence. The kind of silence that feels heavy, almost unnatural, like the calm before a thunderstorm. The premiere doesn't waste time, it throws us straight into a moment that no one could predict. The ranch is still, the horses restless, the air thick with a strange tension. Amy steps outside, as she has countless mornings before, but this time, something is different. She senses it before she sees a dot in the distance. A lone figure approaches on horseback. At first, it feels like a dream. The sun is low, casting long shadows across the fields, and the rider is nothing more than a silhouette. Amy squints, her heart pounding, her breath caught between disbelief and hope. The closer the rider comes, the harder it is for her to convince herself that she's imagining things. She knows that seat, that posture, that rhythm of movement. For years, she dreamed of this moment, but now that it's here, She doesn't know whether to run toward it or turn away. The camera lingers on Amy's face, her eyes widening, her lips trembling. Lindy, curious and bright as ever, tugs on her mother's hand. "Mom, who's that?" she whispers, innocence in her voice. Amy cannot answer. Her throat closes, and her tears come faster than words. Because deep down, she already knows. The horse stops at the edge of the ranch yard, dust rising around its hooves. The rider dismounts slowly, his movements deliberate, almost cautious, as if he understands the weight of this moment. And then, the camera gives us what fans have been waiting for, the reveal. Ty Borden, standing there, alive, real, and back where he belongs. But this isn't the same Ty who left. His face carries the marks of years away, tired eyes, a touch of weathered strength, and a heaviness that wasn't there before. He looks older, wiser, and haunted by everything he's endured. When he finally speaks, his voice cracks under the weight of time. "Amy," one word filled with everything he cannot yet explain. Jack appears next, stepping out from the barn. His body stiffens, his jaw clenches. For Jack, this is the son he mourned, the boy he buried in his heart. He doesn't rush forward. Instead, his eyes scan Ty, as if making sure he's real. Jack's voice breaks the silence, rough and shaky. It can't be. The strong man, the rock of the family, suddenly looks small, vulnerable, overwhelmed by the miracle standing before him. Lou, on the other hand, reacts with a mixture of shock and anger. She's practical, always thinking about the consequences. She takes one step back instead of forward. For Lou, Ty's return is not just joy, it's questions, confusion, and a deep fear of how this will tear open every wound her sister tried to heal. She blurts out the words Amy can't bring herself to say. "Where have you been all this time?" And then comes Lindy, the moment that breaks every heart watching. She doesn't know the man standing before her, but she feels something in her bones. She studies his face, tilts her head the way children do when they're curious, and then asks softly, "Are you my dad?" The innocence in her question is enough to bring Ty to his knees. He crouches down, his eyes filled with tears, his voice trembling as he whispers, "Yes, sweetheart, I'm your dad." This is the scene that shatters the audience. The family stands frozen in the middle of joy, grief, love, and disbelief. Amy's tears stream down her face as she takes a hesitant step forward, but she stops just short of touching him, afraid that if she does, he'll vanish like a dream. Ty reaches out, his hand shaking, desperate to close the gap between them. The premiere doesn't answer the big questions yet. It doesn't tell us where Ty has been, or why he's suddenly back now. Instead, it leaves the family and the viewers drowning in a flood of emotion. Relief, anger, joy, and pain swirl together in a moment so raw that it feels like the screen itself might break under the weight of it. Ty Borden is back. But what does that mean for Heartland? That's the question left hanging in the air as the camera slowly pulls away, showing the family standing together but miles apart in their emotions. The moment after Ty's return is not filled with celebration. It is filled with silence. A silence that carries the weight of 1,000 questions. A silence that forces each member of the family to face their own emotions. Amy's inner battle. For Amy, this is a miracle she prayed for, but also a nightmare she never expected to relive. Her love for Ty never died, but grief forced her to bury it, to build walls around her heart. Seeing him now tears those walls apart. Her eyes burn with tears, her body trembles, and her heart races between joy and fury. Part of her wants to run into his arms, to let years of sorrow melt away. But another part of her screams, "Where were you when I needed you? Where were you when Lindy took her first steps, spoke her first words, cried for the father she didn't know?" Amy's heart is torn in two, caught between the man she never stopped loving and the pain of the life she had to build without him. Lindy, too young to understand the full storm, feels only the spark of connection. She doesn't know his story, but she knows his presence. Something in her heart tells her this man is hers. She stares at Ty with wide, curious eyes, not with anger or fear, but with the pure openness of a child. For Lindy, this isn't about betrayal or abandonment, it's about discovery. She feels a strange warmth, a piece of her soul suddenly fitting into place. But even as she smiles, confusion lingers. She's learning in one breathtaking moment what most children grow up knowing: what it feels like to have a father. Jack, the protector, is torn in a different way. His love for Ty is real, deeper than words, but his years of grief turned into scar tissue. To believe that Ty is really back means reopening wounds he forced himself to close. Jack's instinct is to shield Amy and Lindy, to make sure this return doesn't crush them all over again. His eyes narrow, his shoulders stiffen. He is not quick to forgive, not quick to trust. Ty's presence pulls him between relief and suspicion, between joy at seeing his son alive and fear that this will break the family all over again. And then there's Lou, always the realist, always the one who keeps her feet on the ground while others are lost in their hearts. For her, Ty's return is not just emotional, it's dangerous. She can't stop herself from asking the hard questions. Why now? Why after all this time? Lou worries not just for Amy, but for the family's future. She knows how fragile healing can be, and Ty's sudden return threatens to undo everything Amy worked so hard to rebuild. Her love for her sister makes her voice sharp, her questions blunt. Lou's fear is not that Ty is back, it's that his presence will destroy Amy all over again if he leaves once more. As they stand together, their emotions pull them apart. Amy cries but doesn't move closer. Lindy reaches out but doesn't fully understand. Jack watches with arms crossed, his heart heavy with doubt. Lou hovers with protective distance, her questions louder than her relief. Ty, standing in the middle of it all, feels the weight of every stare, every tear, every silence. He came back to heal, but his presence reopens every scar. The premiere makes it clear this isn't just a story of a man's return. It's the story of what happens when love, grief, hope, and fear collide. Every reaction is a reflection of years lost, of pain endured, of bonds tested. This is not a reunion wrapped in joy. It's a reckoning, and in the quiet moments after the storm of emotion, one truth hangs heavy over Heartland. Ty Borden's return will change everything, but no one knows if it will heal the family or break them for good. Ty's return is more than a single shocking moment. It is the beginning of a storm that will reshape Heartland forever. The premiere makes one thing clear: this is not a fairy tale. It is not a simple story of a man coming home and everything falling into place. This is the story of scars, of broken trust, of love that never truly died but was buried under years of silence. For Amy, the theme of healing takes on a new meaning. She has already walked through fire. She raised Lindy alone, learned to live with the emptiness, and built strength she never thought she had. Ty's return tests all of that. Healing for Amy no longer means just surviving without him. It means facing the pain of his absence and deciding if she can let him back into her heart. The writers don't make this easy. The audience feels her hesitation, her longing, and her fear in every glance, every pause. Can Amy forgive? Or will she choose to protect herself from being broken again? For Lindy, the story is about discovery and identity. All her life, she has been told stories of her father, tales of kindness, courage, and love. Now, the hero of those stories stands before her. But what does it mean to suddenly have a father after years without one? Her journey will not just be about bonding with Ty. It will be about understanding who she is with him in her life. Will she accept him as the father she never knew, or will the years apart create a distance too wide to cross? Jack's arc is rooted in the theme of second chances. He is the one who has seen more loss than anyone else, who has carried grief longer than most could bear. Ty's return offers him something he never thought possible: the chance to hold onto family he believed was gone forever. But second chances demand trust, and Jack knows trust is fragile. Will he open his heart again? Or will his instinct to protect Amy and Lindy keep him guarded, suspicious, and slow to forgive? Lou's role pushes us into the theme of balance between heart and reason. She embodies the audience's hardest questions. Where was Ty? Why did he stay away? And what happens if he disappears again? Her skepticism is not cruelty, it's love in its toughest form. Lou knows that hope is powerful, but hope can also destroy. She becomes the voice of caution, reminding everyone that joy and heartbreak often walk hand in hand. The premiere doesn't just give us Ty Borden back, it gives us a puzzle. A puzzle about where he has been, why he has returned now, and what his presence will mean for the family moving forward. Is this a chance for healing? Or is it the beginning of a deeper conflict that will test every bond the Bartlett-Fleming family has left? And this is where the story grips not only the characters but also the fans. Because every viewer watching will find themselves asking the same questions. Can love truly survive years of loss? Can forgiveness rebuild what was shattered? Will Amy and Ty find their way back to each other? Or will the weight of the past pull them apart again? The premiere doesn't hand us the answers, it leaves us standing at the edge of possibility. And that is what makes this return so powerful. Ty Borden is back. Yes, but the real story is about what comes next. The choices the family will make, the wounds they will face, and the truths that will finally come to light. As the credits roll on the first episode of season 19. One truth remains: Heartland has never been just about horses, ranches, or small-town life. It has always been about family, love, loss, and the courage to keep moving forward. Ty's return doesn't erase the pain of the past, but it offers something rare, something fragile, something worth fighting for: a second chance. And now, the question is not whether Heartland can survive this moment, but whether the family we've loved for so long can survive the storm that Ty's return is about to unleash. Ty's return is not the end of the story, it is only the beginning of a brand new mystery. The premiere leaves us with more questions than answers, and fans everywhere are already buzzing with theories. Some believe Ty was forced away, that danger or duty kept him from his family. Others whisper about secrets, about choices he made that he could never explain until now. And a few wonder, could Ty's return be part of something larger, something that will unravel piece by piece as the season unfolds? One of the biggest questions is how Amy will move forward. Will she open her heart to Ty again, or will the years apart prove too heavy to overcome? Love is powerful, but trust is fragile, and Heartland has always been about the raw truth of relationships. Watching Amy wrestle with forgiveness will be one of the most emotional arcs of the season. Every conversation, every glance, every tear will test the bond she once believed could survive anything. Then there's Lindy's journey. For her, Ty's return is not about the past, it's about her future. This is the first time she will truly know her father, and her reaction could reshape the entire family. Will she embrace Ty instantly, clinging to him with the unconditional love of a child? Or will she hold back, unsure of how to trust a man who has been missing all her life? The premiere hints at both, and fans will be watching closely to see how this father-daughter relationship blossoms or struggles in the episodes ahead. Jack's conflict is another source of speculation. As the rock of the family, he has carried everyone through loss. Now, he must decide whether to let himself feel joy again, or whether to stay guarded. Could Jack become Ty's strongest ally, defending his return against Lou's doubts? Or will Jack's pain run so deep that he becomes Ty's greatest obstacle? The premiere plants seeds of both possibilities, leaving fans guessing at which path Jack will take. And what about Lou? Her skepticism is not just background noise, it's a central conflict. Lou's practical, protective nature means she will question Ty at every turn. Will she uncover secrets he doesn't want revealed? Will her doubts cause tension with Amy, creating a rift between sisters? Or in time, will she be the one to help Ty prove his loyalty, making his return stronger than ever? The larger mystery, of course, is where Ty has been. The premiere deliberately avoids answers, feeding the suspense. Was he gone by choice or by force? Did he leave to protect his family, or was he taken away by circumstances beyond his control? And why did he return now? What changed? The writers leave just enough breadcrumbs to fuel countless fan theories, and already speculation is running wild. But beyond the questions and the mysteries, the real heart of season 19 lies in its themes. This season is not just about Ty's return, it is about what happens after the miracle. Can a family truly rebuild what was broken? Can love survive absence? Can forgiveness breathe new life into old wounds? Fans of Heartland know that the show has never been about easy answers. It is about the messy, beautiful, painful, and powerful truth of family. And with Ty back, those truths will be tested in ways they never have before. So, as we look ahead, one thing is certain: Heartland Season 19 will not just bring us a reunion, it will bring us a journey. A journey of trust, of redemption, of love, rediscovered and challenged at every step. The Bartlett-Fleming family is standing at the edge of change, and the road ahead will be anything but simple.